Welcome back to another episode of Unfinished Business, everybody. This is episode 12, and we're so happy with this. And we're live again, so this is a ton of fun. And tonight, we're going to talk about some all-time greatest moments, throws, matchups, all that kind of stuff. So a lot of fan interaction. If you guys want to put in the chat your opinion, we'll definitely be pulling that up and going back and forth about that. But to get us started, we just like to talk about what's going on in our world of disc golf. So, Matt, what's going on with you, buddy?
I played a tournament last weekend, an unofficial tournament on a golf course that they had thrown in like for the holes, like less than a month before the tournament started. It was cool. I pulled T7, tied for one guy out of 20 people, but I think I wasn't that far off the lead, which wasn't bad at all. But it was a fun tournament. It was a fun way to start the season without going like super serious. And I don't know, it was a cool little course. I'm very excited. It's cool to see a course being built up now. It's like water carries that everything. Apparently it was an old back nine of a golf course that got too wet to consistently get golf carts on. But I did hike 5 miles in the water
That's a good one.
With my bag on. So the next day I was pretty much dying. But no, I did good. I was chilling. So
how did your new finish line disc make their debut?
It was good. I didn't really have a control driver, so it became the Era for the day. And then my Supra, some guy just kept commenting on it because there were some shorter shots that I really did some impressive stuff with the Supra, and he just kept saying, "Where do I buy one of those, man? Where do I get one of those Supras at?" But I didn't have the heart to tell him. He was like, "I just love it. It comes out of your hand really fast, and then like even when you throw it low, it kind of just it stays in the air the whole time." And I didn't have the heart to tell him it's just because I throw low nose up that it air bounces in the air instead of just that it's the disc. And I was like, yeah, man, it's all that Super, man. It's a magical disc there. So, but no, they performed very well for me. I was pretty happy about that. So it worked well.
That's cool. You got the wheels are not, what's the saying goes? You're off and running.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You're off and running on the tournaments. I know. Corey, I just looked at your YouTube channel. We haven't seen a video in a while. What's going on?
That's so real. I was just thinking that.
I'm really sad. 2 weeks? What happened, man? No joy?
No joy.
I can't hear you. What happened?
Oh,
no.
He's muted out. Corey's muted out on the.
All right, Taylor, what do I... 1 second?
1 second, hold on.
But while he is trying to get this working, all I'm going to say is Corey is a real one for still repping his boys who took a bad L this weekend.
That is true. Go Lions.
The Lions. Yeah, go Lions, dude. Yeah, we can hear you.
And now you're back.
Oh.
I feel like he froze right on a cuss word, too.
Well,
that was the most incredible time I've ever seen.
Okay, so all right. 2 weeks without a video. That's my fault. I just haven't filmed.
Yeah.
It's been the worst weather lately. Next week I will be in Nashville again for work, and it's supposed to be in like the 50s and 60s. So I should be able to film. Fingers crossed. Also, I'm going to be redoing this so that I can do videos in the office. Got some ideas for that. Third of all, I still love the Lions, okay? I don't care. We lost fair and square because we stink in second halves. So
my condolences.
That's about it.
Yeah. It was a tough watch. It was crazy to think that Kyle Shanahan was on the opposite side of a really bad Super Bowl comeback, and then he was on the flip side of that for this one.
Yeah. I did play Sunday. I didn't film it though because it was terrible weather. Like it was windy, and then it was kind of rainy, and then it was snowing, and then it was just all mud, and then Eric threw into the water. No, Kevin threw into the water. It was terrible. But I got to throw the squall. It's a zombie. It's literally the zombie. I thought maybe the SP plastic was going to be more overstable than a Z zombie. It's not. So whatever. Did my test. I did throw the Hypercane as well, and it's really good. It's really good. Like I put it there's a Mando.
GA is good.
It is. It feels really comfortable too. So there's a hole. It's basically straight, maybe 350, and then just like a hard right, and then it goes like down this little valley. It's a big par 4. I made the corner and I got halfway down the hill, like into the valley. So it's a good disc.
That's awesome. Is Corey lagging on anyone else's screen?
Corey's all good on mine.
Okay. I mean, he might have just been lagging for me just for a moment. Okay, cool. That's sick.
I have to learn how to talk. I have to learn how to talk like late. Like,
no, you're good. You're good. It's probably me. Trick. I'm going to talk about me in a minute, and I'll explain what's going on with me, which is why there's an issue.
Hold on, let me try and do this.
Talk about me, you know.
Let me try and do this. What are you, Taylor?
That was pretty good. That was impressive.
Thanks.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I alluded to this a little bit before we started. So you guys should be proud of me. I played our local doubles on Sunday. A friend talked me into it.
I'm so proud of you.
That's literally the first like organized round of disc golf I played since probably 2019. So, you know, something fun. I played really bad. So I played doubles with a buddy of mine. And I've never played doubles like this. Basically, there's shorts and long tees for all of the holes. The buddy I play with is newer to the game and had never played the long. So I was just like, no problem, bud. I got longs on every hole. So half I would attribute to that. The other half, the other 40% I would attribute to, we had 20 mile per hour steady 30 mile per hour gusts, like super windy day. And the other 10% is I'm just bad. I played real bad. So today I grabbed some clips to review the Conqueror. And I was like, I'll do like an hour of field work to try to figure out why I'm bad. I'm still bad today, so nothing is fixed. I'm consistently, I think I'm washed. I think it's done.
Just like that, the career is over.
Yeah,
I have my Conquerors coming in tomorrow, the new Swirly S-Line ones, and I am hype to throw those.
Yeah. So what this is, Swirly S-Blend Conqueror, and I will tell you one thing. This guy likes to go left on a hyzer. It is very overstable.
So tell me something. On the stamp that I'm getting, it's supposedly a first run. So, and it's supposed to be a new disc or a new stamp, whatever, coming out. What's the difference between yours and mine if mine's going to be a first run?
So it's the same run. They just send them to the team first. So I've had this. They took a while. They delayed this release quite a bit because they put out the Proctor Halos before the Swirly S-Blends. So these were the first run, and then they ran it in Halo as well, which got released first. I don't remember if that was like a VIP club or anything, but then they just kind of stamp them up. But they may have not had the stamp done. Sometimes that delays disc too. So I think I got this in like November, I want to say. I've had it for a little bit, but just finally getting around to trying it out. And that thing, it's beefy girl.
Well, I got an orange and I got a green, so I'm hoping I maybe get some different flights out of the different colors. So we shall see. Well, I'm having some maybe slight internet problems because we put my dog in my room because we had some people over yesterday. And if we don't move, I have a 5-pound Yorkie, but if you don't move the chair far enough from the desk, he'll jump up on the desk and try to like get out of the basement. And this is my 5th Ethernet cable that he's gone through. I mean, the dude like went ham on all accounts on this cord. So I was supposed to have an Ethernet cable that came in earlier. And of course they said it's going to be coming in late. So I got to go with my whatever Wi-Fi on my desktop to my motherboard. But I finally got a chance to get out. I reviewed the Jawbreaker, my first impressions. I put a video out about that, and a couple other things. Got a chance to go out and play in the afternoon on Saturday. But guys, I have a big announcement to make. Can you guys see that?
It looks like the DGA logo to be.
Yeah, are you on Gryffindor?
Can you see that?
Team Ravenclaw.
Yeah.
I think so. What are we looking at?
I'm wearing a navy blue DGA hat.
Okay.
I'm having a boy.
Oh,
Hey,
bro,
congrats.
Bro, I didn't do it.
I know.
I
I
was
just
trying
was
to-
joking.
I was trying to figure out why the color was gonna
Yeah.
is only Team DGA gets navy hats or something like that.
No, I was joking. Of course, I was trying to play like I was getting signed by DGA, but there's no way that's happening. I've tried, and they don't want to hear it. So yeah,
They need to fix that logo.
I know. But this is it's a nice little like hat. I'm happy about it or whatever. But yeah, we're having a boy. We just found out on Friday, so super stoked. We have a girl, and now we're having a boy, and I think we're packing up shop after that. But we'll see.
I liked your announcement video, the little golf swing. I like that you backed yourself.
Yeah, I
you
love
backed
that
yourself
part, yeah.
off.
Yeah. So my buddy who is a golfer as well, Jesse Betts, shout out, who was here last week in the chat. He was like, hey, you got to like back off, right? And I said, oh, that's a good idea. So the saddest part of why that was such a like big deal to the family is because we had waited 45 minutes for one particular family to show up so they could see. So everybody was like on edge because we were supposed to have brunch. And so everybody was hungry. They already had been waiting. And so then when I backed off, that's when you can hear like my mother-in-law in the background be like, I gotta go pee, hurry up. So yeah, we're having a boy. So anyways, yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. So, all right, guys, this episode, like I said, we're talking about some old timers, but before we get to that, let's talk about some, what's going on in the world of disc golf right now. So just a couple things, bring up some tournaments that went down this weekend. And then we'll talk about, some bouginess that happened as well over this past week. So down in Mexico, the MX disc golf championship, KJ, had an opportunity to go 3-peat at the tournament and was leading going into the last round, and do I have to say blew it essentially. So he lost to, I think his name is I don't remember who it was. Culver. I think it was Nicholas Culver.
I don't remember. All I remember is that Kevin Jones was also previously undefeated in Mexico, so now that streak is also dead. So
yeah,
bad start to the year as a KJ fan, I guess.
Yep. Moment of silence, please. Moment of silence. Okay, moving on. Anyways, any comments about that? How about the fact that like Kevin Jones is not even like Prodigy's top, should I say, 2 player on the team anymore? Right? Ezra and Isaac, top 2.
I don't think he cares. I mean, he's got his DJ thing going, so it's.
His contract's going to be up, I think, not this year, but it's the next year. So
yeah,
I bet he balls out next year. That would be my guess. Time to show people what he's made of.
I enjoyed, one, having coverage to watch, and 2, the commentary team of Luke Humphreys and Paul Oman, where that was just so entertaining to me, just because you could genuinely tell how much they like did not care about the tournament while they were talking about it. Like, it's like, we're just out here, we're vibing. We also happen to be playing disc golf at the same time.
And they're both such like slow talkers. It was just like, dude, I'm putting that on when I go to bed tonight. I'm just going to listen to that because they just wanted to put me to sleep. And shout out Paul Oman having one of the most unique backhands in the game, dude.
Yeah, his form is as fast as his speaking cadence for sure.
That's
similar
for sure.
Speed.
Yeah,
he is. I'm pretty sure he's from not far from where I'm from. Actually, different states.
Oh, really?
But I think geographically not far from where I'm from. So
how old do you think he is?
He's got to be up there, right? I was just looking at his PDGA to make sure I wasn't wrong on that, and he's been a PGA member since 2008. So playing tournaments since 2007. So you got to think up
16
there.
years.
Yeah,
16 years since he's been on, and then let's say he signed up at age 16, maybe.
That guy's a dirty.
He's been around
putter,
the block.
I'll say that.
Yeah, I've seen him putt too. Very smooth. I guess for our guy that has smooth form, smooth putter, has to be right. So another tournament that went on this weekend was the Maricopa Open, and this was the one that was at the other course they used to play at for the Memorial. I guess the Fountain Hills, right?
Fountain Hills, yeah.
They played at Fountain Hills, I think, for that one, and another course, I think, as well. But Tristan Tanner, first tournament playing with DGA, took that down in a playoff over Andrew Marweed, another guy from DGA that was out last week with a back injury, who also beat AB that came in third by one. Parker Welk came in 11th, and Goose struggling a little bit. He came in 15th. Any comments about DGA wiping up the floor in A tiers or Gooseman kind of slipping in the first couple tournaments?
No, that's basically it. That's exactly what happened.
Is there coverage of that one anywhere?
Tristan
I know Terry didn't do it, I don't think.
Oh, there is coverage, but it's not coming out for a while. So someone filmed it, but Terry's got to put it together. I think that's what I think that's what Parker said. I think on his Instagram, or Marweed or Tristan, one of them did.
This is interesting to me because this is usually the part of the season where AB destroys everyone in Arizona, and we're like, this is AB's year, son. Like, this is going to be the one. So it's interesting. We've got like a reverse start. So maybe that means, this is the year he'll like win a major or something because he sucked at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, so we'll have to see what happened with that. But AB, like, not taking one of these first two home courses feels really bad, I think. For Discraft. So and then one more tournament that's notable to bring up is the Tour Down Under down in Taupo, New Zealand. I think it's called the Taupo Classic or something like that. Corey Ellis for Discraft took it down, beating Levi Stout by 2. That was considered a B tier event. So any thoughts on Corey Ellis taking down a B tier in New Zealand?
I hope he wins. I mean,
hey, the Tour Down Under is nothing to mess with, son. They got the custom ADO colorway shoes out, man.
Yeah.
I know, dude. Well, I think Luke Humphrey. Oh, wait, hold on. Is that true? They had Luke Humphreys playing in that tournament, which is really strange. Because Luke Humphreys was in Mexico, so maybe I'm off.
I feel like he's not in Mexico and New Zealand at the same time.
Oh,
my take about this tournament
that was notable down there.
Bring the World Tour back and bring the tournament in Perth back, the Australian Open, because that tournament was sick.
Yeah, I've seen some coverage of that when looking at some old Paul Macbeth stuff, and I was like, that's pretty sick. I like how, if you watch, I think it's on Spin, whatever, on YouTube back in like 2015 or 2016, Paul's talking about like all the crazy spiders down in Australia, and I'm like, dude, there's no way. There's no way I could. Dude, I hate spiders, dude. There's no way I could do any of that.
The best part I remember from watching that coverage back then was like they were talking about how hot it was, and like you would throw a disc and like literally not be able to throw it for your next shot because it was too like pliable from getting so hot. And Paul also threw a shot where his disc had not cooled down enough and like went over a branch, and the branch just sliced it down the middle because like the plastic was so pliable from like sitting in the sun.
Jeez,
That's crazy.
It was wild down there.
I'm gonna have to do a little scientific test and bake a disc, see if I can get that to happen.
I should do that too. And then last thing to kind of bring up in the disc golf world is Kristin Tattar. It looked like she signed some agreement with Porsche in Estonia, saying that she's going to be pretty much driving Porsche while she's over in her country. I wonder if it's going to be in Europe or if it's just in Estonia. Because I heard on Grip Lock they were talking about how, like, is it kind of like you driving for your local dealership, like in your local city? Is that what it's kind of like, or is it more, or is it going to be bigger, where when she's in Europe she can drive a Porsche around? But is this actually, are we making this a bigger deal than what it really is? is my question. Because it's not like she can drive a Porsche anywhere. It's just in Estonia.
It depends. I mean, how much is the Porsche that she's driving? How much is a Cayenne?
I think they said retail somewhere in between 60 and 80. It's the Montage or something like that.
I think it's sick. I think the gambling thing's a bigger deal than the Porsche sponsorship.
I was going to wonder if we wanted to talk about that last week. I forgot to bring that up.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that real quick then. Do we have an opinion about that either? The
I don't even know what that is. So just
Yeah, I'm lost in the sauce here, fellas.
Okay, so she signed a deal or something like that with a gambling company in Estonia for a sponsorship. And some people are upset about it because it's gambling, and people can say that you're taking money from people's less fortunes because people have an addiction to gambling and everything like that. So it kind of was controversial, or some people were trying to make it controversial. So I'm just curious what you guys have to think about that.
For me, it's more like odd than anything. It's like, I know like sports gambling has gotten like super, super prevalent anyway. And I'm pretty sure I've heard it's even more prevalent, or if not the same, in Europe. But like the endorsement or whoever she signed the contract with isn't even like sports betting for the most part. Like it's straight up just like online casino slot machine kind of thing. So I think that's it's a combination, I think, of like there's a lot of people in the world against gambling, and also this is like the first like even potential thing you could be mad at Kristin about like ever, right? Like she's pretty much like a golden track record previously. So I think it's more striking just because it's someone that previously is just like the golden child of disc golf that does something like somewhat morally questionable. So now it's like at least like some people can have a reason not to like her, I guess.
Yeah, honestly, I don't even have a problem with it because it's just like it's like somebody taking money from like a casino it's just sports gambling involved, right? And so I don't know. I don't really have a problem with it necessarily. I mean, eventually they're going to get into the game. You would think. I mean, Foundation does stuff for DraftKings sponsorship wise.
Yeah.
So it's just getting into the game now. So now I think it gets maybe a little bit more serious when there's actually disc golf sports betting someday. So I think that's when it might get a little bit more like questionable.
I think people they can twist anything nowadays to be like a bad issue. I mean,
yeah, but you are right. Disc golf sports betting will be bad when Corey bets every single week that Aaron Gossage will finally pop off and just loses millions of dollars over years at a time.
Corey's sending screenshots of a goose parlay every week. Like,
yeah, it's going to happen this time, trust.
First off, I don't have millions to spend.
I said over years. A lot of years.
A lot of years.
Several years. Episode 4,000 of Unfinished Business.
Yeah, after a while, I don't think Goose will be playing, so I don't have to worry about that. I don't think I can get up to the millions. And also,
he might be playing MP60, man. Yes, he could still be around.
Shh, don't say that. I don't know. I do have a feeling he's going to win a few, but I'm going to wait until we do that whole who's going to win every tournament this year live or whatever podcast. So, no, I will say, though, I did look it up. The Porsche Macan is only $65,000 to $73,000.
Yep.
Which means that there is an opportunity for Porsche Estonia to be able to give her a rental car when she's over here. Like, because it's not that big of a deal.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Because like I go through Enterprise for my work, and there's Enterprise and then there's Enterprise Exotic, and it's not that much more to like get a good vehicle. Yeah. So
you get the Exotic.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah, I get the Honda Accord.
Oh yeah.
Well, don't hate on the Accord. I rep it.
I have one. That's why I got it last time.
I was gonna say that sucker's durable.
Yep.
Said earlier, tonight's going to be a list of all times. Actually, we had one more thing to bring up, right, Taylor? Paul Macbeth versus Calvin Heimberg beef.
Oh yeah. One second, my internet just died for like 3 seconds, so apologies to anyone in the live because I think we're just now coming back. But yeah, Calvin and Paul have beef. That's all that needs to be said.
Yeah, guys, go check it out. Go find it.
Go find the Instagram posts. They're there.
Or
Paul's burner.
Or you can do it. Or you can do what Taylor did and tell us that around 2:00 this afternoon and not say another single word in our group chat. And Corey and I are searching all afternoon for this. And Taylor gets on and says, "Oh yeah, I was just kidding." So, just kidding.
So
no beef going on.
Who do you think shut off your internet?
That's a good point.
We sent over
Paul Macbeth himself.
We sent over Tyler's dog to your cord again.
Yeah, Ethernet cord's done. It's like, hold on.
I'm waiting to see if what is this? Oh, I literally just got an alert. No, I didn't. That was at 4:00. Never mind. Yeah, I'm waiting for this Ethernet cable to come in. It's bothering me. Something about like things not working efficiently, and if it doesn't work right, it drives me up a wall. But anyways,
so your putting game.
It does. My putting game is trash right now, to be honest with you. I wasn't going to talk about it, but I was putting a little bit today, and I'm like in a mix of two different forms, a new form and an old form, and I can't get my body to commit to one of them.
Hey,
so
don't worry, my whole
it's
game's
sad.
trash,
You actually, it's funny you actually brought that up because I'm not going away from the steady BLs though. I am committed to them all year. I'm not going away from those because there's nothing wrong with them. They're actually really good. All right. All-time greats tonight. So last week we ended the episode kind of talking about some all-timers. We talked about like what was the all-time greatest matchup or showdown or whatever the case may be. So we thought it would just be really fun to have a little bit of a nostalgia night and just discuss some of the all-time greats. So if you're watching us, put in the chat what your all-timers are as we go when we talk about it. And we can kind of bring it up and talk about it as we go. So let's start off with what we ended with last week, and let's go over what do you think the all-time greatest like showdown showdown between two players in a tournament we've seen on tour. I'll jump at once.
You act like I actually rehearsed this.
You didn't. That's like the whole. That's the whole thing.
Yeah. What do you think it is, Taylor?
Mine's definitely got to be one of the Paul and Ricky's. The Worlds where they went to like 6 playoff holes in Portland is definitely up there. Even though I'm not the biggest Ricky fan, I do put Masters Cup with Paul and Ricky up there just because that's the whole like how Raptor Leg started. And Ricky, like that putt he made was just ice on the final hole of Masters Cup to beat Paul. That was nasty. I can't remember what year that was, but that was a nasty moment.
That was with the elevated basket, right?
Yeah, with like water behind it. And he just drained like a 65-footer in Paul's face, and Paul missed a 40-footer after.
Yeah. I would say like I'm just throwing this out there for anyone who's watching, like 2016 and on is probably what we'll have to focus on, but like because that's as long as we've had like coverage. But I'm trying to think what was like the best showdown. I didn't really think about this one necessarily, so I'm trying to think. I have one for me that is really memorable, and it's only because I didn't like what Ricky did, so I think it was 2022 Green Mountain Championship. Chris Dickerson and Ricky Wysocki coming down the stretch. Do you guys remember that one by chance?
Vaguely.
What year was it?
I think it was 2022. So it was kind of rainy a little bit, and I think it was the round where Ricky hit the umbrella and kept them in bounds.
Umbrella Gate.
Yeah. It was that one.
Classic.
But coming down the last hole, I think they were tied, or maybe Ricky was winning by 1. Anyways, Chris went OB, Ricky stayed in bounds, and Ricky made like this big deal and it was just like super annoying. But yeah, it was a big showdown going back and forth. That's one of the most memorable ones that I have since I've been watching personally.
I'm gonna have to go with the amount of times that someone from the chase card won last year.
Yo, that is true. That was crazy for a few weeks in a row. Like, that was wild.
Yeah.
Brother, last year, I think we're going to see a repeat this year, I think.
Oh, it'll get
Joe
more
is
and
in
more it'll get more and more
Joe
common, but it's still
It was
pretty
crazy.
insane.
Like, everyone was like, oh, here's a consistency. And then just like bang, 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 bang. Like, just one after another. It was actually insane. But no, you're right.
Simon came from double chase card to win last year. Or what was that, MVP?
Yeah,
I think that's what it was.
He won a third card.
Third card, which is crazy because he was sitting around forever.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of some other ones.
Or we could just skip it because we don't know.
I mean, it
This
doesn't
was a
have to be
bad
old.
plan. Keep going.
It could be in the past couple of years. It could be like James and Paul at Worlds.
I was gonna say James and Paul at Worlds, bro, just because like you had two direct opposites, like not even related to the holy shot, although that's got to be crazy tough for momentum. But just that like fight down over the following holes is just so tough to even like think about, like. Because, I mean, if you like Paul, you kind of want Paul to win, but how do you not want the guy who just threw in from 250, 267 feet or whatever it is to win? So I think just the opposing forces there, much less than the fight, because I think it kind of...
That whole final nine was crazy, too. Like, everybody was cashing some long putts in that last few. Like, Kevin Jones was out there hooping until he fell apart at the end. It was entertaining.
I think it was hole 16. I think he went OB, and then he went OB, and then he went to the drop zone, and he threw it, and his putt hit the cage, and then it rolled into the water, and then he was like really done. Dude, I know Kyle just put in the chat talking about KJ's. The one where he like landed on the mound, rolled out of bounds, and then like putted, rolled out of bounds, whatever. We'll get to that later. But Kevin has had some of the worst,
such
like
unlucky, man. Like some
like
super unlucky moments.
And I love how like Jeremy Coling and Paul Uleber are like, oh, you know, this is just gonna help him. Like, you know, it's gonna feel that much sweeter when he wins. You know, really, really soon. Brother hasn't won anything. Hasn't even come close in a while.
Hey, don't disrespect Idlewild.
I know. I love KJ, but like it's been really sad to watch. I'm a Philadelphian, right? So when your favorite don't come through, you just start bad mouthing them until they start coming
until
through.
They do better.
Yeah, it's the way we do in Philly. Corey, what were you gonna say?
Well, I was gonna say, if it wasn't for the circumstances, do you think the holy shot would have been like crazy at all?
Do you mean in relation to like Paul and James? Like if it had been like Ricky and Paul, do you think it would have been as crazy?
No. Like if it wasn't for the specific shot, like if he just happened to do that, because like I witnessed Calvin throw two different shots, like 250 and higher, in for eagles at Deglow this year, and the crowd roared, but it wasn't for anything because it was just during the round.
Yeah, the circumstances definitely play a huge part of it, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the moment, the pressure, knowing what has to be done, absolutely. I think that's the only reason why. But like, if he had just done it and he was like middle of the pack, like we would have all forgotten it by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
or even
moment.
on the same card he was on, but not
to tie.
Like, yeah.
I would say it takes away maybe 40% of the significance if that was the case. I mean, I think I still would remember it, but yeah, I mean, for sure. And you know what? Let's take it even a step further. Let's say like he went into a playoff and lost to Paul. Would it still have been that significant?
No.
Yeah, I think I don't think it's quite as much, but probably like 20%, like 20% less significant. Like, I think just because like the moment was the pop off, but like, you know, the win just solidified it, right? It's like when people like if you're a basketball fan, like if you hit a nasty cross on somebody and they fall down and then you miss the shot, like nobody cares.
Right.
Exactly. And I don't think anybody would have cared if he made that and then just lost in the playoff.
Yeah, lost to the playoff instantly.
Yeah.
Just throws it like 400 feet in the water after.
That would be so bad. I think it's still memorable though. I mean, it's crazy to think that the pressure was on and he threw it in, but
bro, what if he aced
but there's
the
a huge
playoff hole
difference
right
between
after?
that. Oh my God. Or what if he did the same shot and it wasn't even calling for that?
He just felt confident, decided to do it again.
Like he threw the turnover and the basket's over there.
it's so weird. All right, so let's bring up another one. Let's talk about what is your let's very generalized. So what is your greatest shot in general that wasn't a throw-in?
Wait, you're saying very generalized. Are you saying type of shot? Are you saying shot from a tournament?
I'm just saying, what is the greatest shot that wasn't a throw-in that you can remember? The thing about all-timers is that it's all time. So how do you choose just like one?
Yeah, well, the first thing that comes to mind is that like 700 and something foot throw that Eagle parked.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I was thinking about that.
That
too.
was mine.
Nuts.
That was mine.
Yeah, that's the
gotta
first one that I
be-
could think of.
That's got to be. So if you guys haven't seen it, I don't remember what tournament it was, but Eagle threw this gnarly like turnover backhand that went like slightly downhill, but it was like 700 and something feet long, and he parked it.
It was last year's All-Star Challenge, wasn't it? Or maybe
no, it was a tournament. It was a tournament the year before, but it was at the end of the year. I think it was a Silver Series even. But it was one of those that was just like the most incredible like tee shot I've ever seen in my life. It was, like, how do you throw it that far and park it?
Yeah.
Mine goes to which I think I talked about this some in a previous episode, but it's I guess technically two shots, but Seppo's Eagle at Iron Hill on that par 5. Like those are just
that was going to be my 1B.
Back to back, just nasty shots, like just disgusting.
Yeah.
So
that's
another one
a
that I could
long hole.
Another one that I could think of is technically a throw-in, but it's Coriolis's putt that went through the bottom of the basket. So technically he didn't throw it in. He like missed.
Yeah.
Oh, and then also Simon at Deglo. I talk about Deglo so much. I don't even mean to. But the out of bounds throw that he actually got a wave, stamp, because he purposely threw it like OB to get the play on everyone else.
It was mentioned a little bit earlier in the chat, but also at the Utah Worlds, Paul throwing off the chain link fence, like just throwing directly into a fence and getting a ricochet-less like parked under a basket. It's pretty gross too.
That's a good one. That was a big timer. I didn't think about that.
What about the one, I think it was in Europe, where the kid hit the prize car off of the drive?
At the European Open. It was the same guy that like hit the triple Mando on the first hole too.
Yeah.
Hey guys, don't make fun of that poor guy.
He hit the car and then he threw straight into the crowd later. Like he slipped and just threw straight into the gallery. Yeah.
Matt, what's your most memorable or greatest shot that wasn't a throw-in?
I think. Listen, as much as they want to, I'm also gonna bring up Deglo like twice in this. But there's the shot in Deglo where Bert Kreischer's there and he's watching AB throw on that uphill one, and AB just does what AB does and just launches one, and Bert Kreischer's just overly dramatically freaking out. But it actually was like. Bert Kreischer did a good job. All these pros are like, yeah, good shot, AB. Like, it was an insane drive to just pop out there randomly.
Are you talking about the first one where he starts screaming? It was hole 2, like up the hill.
Yeah, it's up the hill. AB hits a tree at the very end of the flight, and it slows him down. And AB's kind of like, dang, it was that we probably could have got a little farther with that. And he's like, dude, you just rocketed that into space. What are you talking about? I just like it because, like, It is funny because if you brought pretty much anyone other than disc golfers into that, they would be like, they would have the same reaction Bert did.
Like, what just happened?
I didn't even know this was physically possible. But AB's like, yeah, if I only got a little more turn, it would have got out of those leaves and would have panned, and then I would have been set, really. But
so also on that that playthrough, AB threw hole 3, which is the one like down and like there's OB on both sides. He threw over the tree line on the right and made it to the top of the hill where the basket is, which is
disgusting,
ridiculous. But I don't know which one is longer, that or Ezra threw from hole 15's tee pad across and parked the basket. I don't know if you can like picture that, but he threw over hole 14, which is the one that you have to throw up and then like it's tucked off in the left. He threw over that entire fairway, over most of 3's fairway, and then parked the basket.
Stupid, dude.
Yeah.
Absolutely stupid. You know what? Another shot I just thought about. It was, I think it was at Jonesboro, the last par 5, where you got to throw like this like shot, and then you can go over the water, and the basket's just over the water, but it's between these like 2 trees. Do you guys have any idea what I'm talking about? And like Paul had thrown his tee shot into the trees, found this small window from a knee throwing forehand, and found a way to park it when they were like, oh, he's dead down in there. And I think he actually threw like a flex shot. But that's probably another one that's like an all-timer for me where everyone said he was dead and then found his way out of that. I think he ended up losing, and that was the one where he went to a playoff with Calvin and lost because of the
and then there was the T-pad thing.
T-pad gate.
That brings to mind too. A big one for me was the last year's Jonesboro. Calvin and Paul were like tied on 18 again, and I think Paul threw a pretty bad drive to start. Calvin's drive on 18 after that was disgusting. Like that low ceiling uphill, just like 550 was gross.
Laser beam. Yeah.
I don't get how Calvin throws so far 6 feet off the ground. Like the entire flight is just driven just straight.
Yeah. Absolute laser beam. I'm trying to think. I feel like I had one more, but all right. So let's go to like more like specific shots. Okay. So what is the all-time greatest forehand shot that you could remember? I have one that was brought up in the chat earlier that I wanted to hold off on talking about. But for me, it's Eagle's forehand shot when he was straddling the guardrail at D-Glow.
D-Glow. Why are we always talking about D-Glow?
Dude, I mean, we all know the shot, but like the straddle he did and the flex he did, I mean, Eagle is a specimen. And I don't know if we'll ever see that forehand ever again, but it doesn't even look like he throws it that hard. And he rips it. Like, I feel like Eagle's forehand is what AB thinks his forehand is, but it's just not. Like AB could throw far, but he can't do what Eagle's doing on a forehand yet. So that's got to be one of the greatest forehand shots I've ever seen.
I would say they also have 2 different like styles. Like Eagle has the very like, I don't want to say generic because it's like insane, but it's a generic forehand. He like does the normal thing. AB has like a very like underhand baseball style throw. He crouches down like real low. Yeah, and just snaps it. So I think that also, like if AB was straddling that guardrail, he probably would have smacked his hand on the guardrail because he would have like just end of career. I'm trying to think.
I mean, this is a very specific question.
Yeah, I have one, but this is going to be terrible because I cannot remember like what year this was. I think it was at Champions Cup course the year before it was Champions Cup. So it was at the PDGA headquarters or whatever. But Kevin Jones threw a like super like flippy.
I know what you're talking about.
I can't remember like if it was a Fairway or some disc that has a license plate for a name, but super flippy like F730G
I think it was
D12.
I thought it wasn't the yellow F5.
Probably, but super flippy like hyzer flip just threw 7 gaps on a super wooded hole that was playing like super difficult like downhill par 3 and just absolutely pinned it. It was gross.
Yeah.
There's a couple I could think of, but I don't know if they're like the most insane. But there was Goose. So they were doing triples on like Brody or Ezra's YouTube channel, and he aced like it was like 450 or even 500 or something like that. Just straight hyzer forehand. And aces, I think it was like hole 16 maybe at it was one of the last no. Yeah. No, it was shoot. I'm trying to think of what course it was. Off the top of my head, I can't think. It was like at the end of the season. And they were like playing the practice round, and it was already getting dark. So they're like, we got to hurry up. And he just throws this insane hyzer forehand right into the basket. And they just freaked out. Like, I love that one.
Yeah. His forehand shot on 18 was really good too.
Yeah.
At Worlds. That was a really clutch shot. Oh, I have forehand shot right here. Speaking of home courses, Austin Hannum 2021 hole 14 at Iron Hill.
I forgot about that. That was
gross. I'm telling you guys right now, it's an impossible forehand ace. If you go and look at it, the way you have to throw the disc through certain trees, you have to get it to go straight, turn over, and it has to come back really hard. And like, it's one of the shots where you have to have something that flips and rides and finishes hard. Like I really don't think you can flex it there, but yeah, it's like 425 or something like that. And jarred it. It's like insane. It's an insane hole in one. If you haven't seen it, you can go check out. It was the last round. It was the last round on not Jomez. I think it's on Gatekeeper. Last round on Gatekeeper 2021 Iron Hill. It's a pretty insane forehand hole in one, over 400 feet, and it's uphill.
Yeah,
it's a bomb.
That's insane. Wait. Oh, Scott said, "Are you talking about Corey? Are you talking about Idlewild for the Goose? That hole 16
No.
for him? Okay, Scott thought maybe it's Idlewild you were talking about.
No, it was a more open course. I'm trying to think.
Understandable. I've got my greatest forehand shot, and this is just because of the circumstances of it. Also, D-Glow, this year's practice round, Isaac and Ezra Robinson are playing. Ezra Robinson has forgotten all of his discs, and his girlfriend or his fiance, whatever it is bringing them to a mid-round, and he gets them, and it's like the whole big thing of the hole, and then you don't realize Isaac goes in the rough and then just throws an incredibly smooth shot up to the basket, and no one mentions it, but just as he steps out of the woods, Ezra goes, "Was that a forehand?" And Isaac goes, "Yeah, that was my forehand." Never mentioned again. It was such a smooth shot. I was like, wait, that's your forehand and you're not using it? What are you talking about? But because anyone else would have asked more questions, but because it's just Ezra and their brothers, he was just like, "That was a forehand shot, right?" And he's like, yeah, that was a forehand shot. And it was just never mentioned. I don't understand.
Off topic, I finally watched that Prodigy video of them playing their home course or whatever that you were talking about last week, Matt. And whoever was in here saying Ezra's unlikable needs to get out of here because that guy's a gem. Both of them.
Yeah. Someone was yapping last week saying Ezra wasn't cool. That's so ratchet. But no, that's my forehand shot. Just because I was so confused, there was too much going on in the practice round. And if the host, whoever was playing with him, I think it was Jerem was playing with him, he would have been like, wait, you throw forehands, yeah, but just never mentioned
just
at all.
Never mentioned again.
Yeah. All right. Let's pull out another one here. So this one is going to be something that obviously we can really think about and more like memorable. But what is the greatest putt in the moment of all time? There's a lot to choose from here.
Mine's locked in instantly. It's burned into my brain. And
It's the Masters Cup.
No, not that one again. I'm not a big enough Ricky fan for that. It's Paul at Emporia Worlds 17. That putt, like the big putt goose in that moment. Sorry, Corey, is probably sore subject, but that's one of those times. Like I still remember, like to this day, like where I was sitting, what I was doing, like when I watched that happen. It was like so sick.
Yeah, and also like he had not been playing that well. And also he not have been putting that well to that moment either.
Yeah. And
then he like jarred it. What's crazy about Paul McBeth is that like he has that Tiger effect. Like you're like, listen, he may not have been playing his best, but like this is the time where like great ones do great things, and he did it. And it's like we don't expect anything different.
Yeah.
So
I just
crazy.
looked it up. He threw the ace on hole 16 at European Open.
Oh.
Okay.
Interesting.
I do not remember that, but
I'll have to go look at I'll have to go look at that one.
Look up Ezra triples European Open or whatever.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. I'm trying to think about putt in the moment.
Dude, I'll say Ricky, his end of the year performance this year. I remember what is the name of the tournament, the last tournament they play? Or the last tournament Ricky played and won this year? Jared said Evelina Solonen. All
Jared, you're wrong for that one, brother.
You're
wrong for that.
Shout
That's
out
my guy
Evelina
right
Sullivan.
there. That's my
You
guy.
were a
Hey, I
little
lost
wrong for
debate
that.
night twice because of Evelina, man.
Dude, I lost debate night because of that thought. Because they said no one will ever do it like Kristin. And I said if Evelina could putt, and they laughed at me. They laughed in my face. But no,
Dude, that is hilarious.
Yeah, that is hilarious. There. Whatever. What was I? Ricky, he is putting into the woods. I'm watching this tournament with some buddies. He's obviously a lot of these experiences I have been playing as long, and I'm a younger guy, so a lot of my stuff is earlier stuff. But
just got his first license this week.
I just got my first license this week, guys. Come on.
Yes.
And it's Ricky. I'm like, yeah, Ricky's pretty good this season, but I mean, like he's been dealing with some Lyme disease stuff, so who knows? And we're like walking through it, but he's doing pretty well. And then he just bangs he's throwing into the woods. It's like a 70-footer. Pure hyzer putt like around, and it just pops right in the basket. And I was like, oh, he might be cooking here. And then he proceeded to cook a little bit, and then I think he just could double bogey the last hole because Kyle Klein did in the last hole of that. You either like throw along the fairway or you try and make the OB to carry the OB, and Kyle Klein had to carry the OB to even have a chance to catch Ricky, and he could not carry the OB. He failed it. And so Ricky like double bogeyed the hole and still won the tournament. Which was a little sad there. But his putt was sick. His putt was enough that I saw it and I was like, holy crap. But
Jesse said Gannon hole 17 US DGC when he beat Nicklaus. That was a really big putt too.
Yeah, that was a big one.
I'm going to go with one that's a little more unconventional, where it was at Waco, smaller event, but the putt that Kristin Tattar made on 18 last year was insane. Like, if you don't remember, she had gone past the basket, and so she had like, I want to say it was like a 35, 40 footer back at the basket. And she technically could have like laid up and then made Ella make a putt. But instead she said, no, she did like a Happy Gilmore moment. If you've seen it, Happy Gilmore at the very end, like he hits like the crazy putt that ricochets, and he says like, they're like, hey, just like, you know, hit it over here, you know, go in the hole, and we'll go into a playoff tomorrow. And he's like, no, I'll just win right now. And like that's what like Kristin did, is she stepped up and threw this putt into a headwind, it like towards a death putt towards water. That's one of the putts where I said, Kristin Tattar is a stone cold killer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's one of the more memorable ones that I can remember where it was just like, that's a big putt.
Now, what was the actual like prompt?
What do you mean?
Greatest putts in the moment.
I said greatest putts in the moment, because we can just say like we could say somebody made like a crazy putt from 80 feet, but it doesn't mean anything. But it has to be like
if
in
it
the
was
moment.
If it was just greatest putts, I was thinking, if I close my eyes and I'm thinking just great putt, I'm thinking Kevin Jones with that weird like jump one where he like jumped off of the like drainage ditch thing.
It was Idlewild.
Oh yeah.
That's just in my brain. I think because Jomez slow-mos it so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I think the greatest putt in the moment is hole 18, Gannon, Las Vegas.
Where he missed?
Yes.
Dirty.
And I'm being serious because, no, I think if he would have won that, I don't know if he would have won USDGC. Yes.
He went on his villain arc?
I think it, like, put him on track to win that.
Yeah.
Sure. And then it did the reverse effect for Drew.
Yeah.
I never heard Drew ever again the rest of the season. Really sad.
Me neither.
Me neither.
That looked like that one meme where everyone just like.
Well, I forgot I was wearing it, and then I looked at you, and I was like, what?
What's going on?
The funniest part, if you guys don't know, is that they're both, repping or sponsored by Drew Gibson's brand.
Drew Gibson.
So I love just bringing up Drew Gibson and watching those two squirm a little bit.
Hey, man, I like Drew Gibson a lot.
Listen.
Yeah. They were on the same team.
I hope Drew comes back. The game is better when Drew's in the mix. I will say that. So,
that's the Red Wings.
No one cares about that team except for you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta mention one thing since we're talking about Gannon. Did anyone online watch Gannon's Caddy's Discmania video?
Yeah.
That he put out. He has been on Discmania for 1 year. He has 750 Discmania discs. He had none before the year he started.
He's been with Discmania for longer than that.
Oh, he said 1 year. He's like, yeah, I've been here for like a year, and I got most of these or something like that. He said it's some insane stuff. Most of it was new, except for 2 boxes of – I say 4 boxes of Cloudbreakers, 1 box of Cloudbreaker 3s, 1 box of Horizon Cloudbreakers, and he's just like, I just stamped whatever I want on there. I just went in the warehouse and started stamping around.
Okay, I got to talk to somebody about my allotment. Hold on here.
Well, no. He was like, I bought all this from Eagle's collection when he left, and it was like, dude, you just spent. Well, he bought like half it. Like half of it is brand new stuff, and the other half he's like, bro, you just spent so much money from Eagle.
Do you know he's the owner of Titan Disc Golf Shop in Urbandale, Iowa?
Yeah, and he said, I will never sell any of this collection. If you want to buy from this collection, you have to buy from my normal shop. You won't get any of this collection. He said it right at the end. He was like, I was like, he is a disc golf shop owner or something. But
he could have been sitting on some fat cash and was like, dude, this is my investment.
It's insane. He's just like, yeah, Cloudbreakers are my drivers, so here's a whole stack of them. And here's this super rare Cloudbreaker. Yeah, I just decided to stamp a Team Discmania logo on it just before I left the warehouse. And I'm like, brother.
Did anybody notice in Gannon's in the bag, he was talking about the DD, and it was different flight numbers? The old DD is not the same flight numbers as the new one.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he was throwing an old one.
I didn't see it.
Why did they change the flight numbers?
They did that with a couple of them.
Yeah.
I don't know if they retooled the mold or remade the mold. It was just slightly different.
Well, I feel like the old DD, I guess, would be closer to a DD1. Was there never a DD1?
Correct.
Okay, so they wanted something flippier, so they added a 1 to.
So there was a DD, a DDX, and a DD3.
What
I
was
forgot
the
about
DDX?
the DDX. That thing's a
DDX, I think,
banger,
was
bro.
a 12.5 minus 1.2. It's an
DDX
interval.
was like the original. If you want to throw a destroyer, but you only throw like 350, buy a DDX.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So I don't even know what the old DDX numbers are, but I do know the DDX. That was Gannon's first driver, apparently, is what he said.
Bro, DDX
That he
used to be
ever-
like super popular for AMs back in the day. Like that was the one.
Yeah. You got to talk about Paul's putt on 17 at USDGC as well the year before
Yeah.
Gannon's too. That was a super clutch one. That one that gets you super hype as well. Man, I wish there were some others that we could really like think about. I can't think of off the top of my head some other big ones. Like
We've hit on
I'm
some
trying to-
leaders. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm trying to think if Isaac had to make any really, really big ones coming down the stretch.
He just made them
Isaac
all.
was just.
Yeah,
making
he doesn't
everything.
even need
Just-
to make the big one.
There wasn't one specific one. It was all of
I
them.
love the fact. I love the fact that he looks at it for a second and just goes,
There it is.
Yeah.
and like that's really it. That's just
His putt is so nonchalant.
goes
Like he
in.
just walks up like, eh.
There's been a lot of people in disc golf content lately who like miss their putt when they're taken seriously, and they're like, and they like pick up the disc, whatever's on the ground, and just throw it at the basket and it goes in.
I
It's
see
like,
you've
dude,
been
like,
watching
what
my
are we even
videos.
doing? Why do? Was it you?
I definitely do that a lot.
I don't remember who it was, but like there was somebody recently where like both people did that, and they're like, why do we even try? Like
I feel like I
just
do
throw
putt
it.
better when I care less. Like I'm just like, oh, screw it.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's why I
it's-
never care.
Yeah.
And he's a perfect
All right.
Steve-1 putter. So
Yeah. All right, here's another one that's on the darker side. Greatest misfortune in disc golf. I have there's a couple out there. The first one that comes to mind for me is the one where Worlds 21 where Ezra landed in
I forgot
on
about that one.
Yeah.
hole 16, and then he's clapping like after it happens. That's got to be one of the most gnarly like turnarounds.
Can
On-
you
on a single
repeat
throw
what
in
you
disc
just said?
golf.
Because my internet died again. The Ethernet cord's dying.
I saw you nodding, and I was like, "Yeah, he don't know what I'm saying."
I'm not actually here.
I said, no, I said Ezra's possible, or Ezra's holding one on 16 that hit the bottom of the basket, jumped out, and then rolled OB.
Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah, at Worlds in 21. That
Didn't-
was one of the worst.
Didn't that happen to someone? Did that happen to Paul? Where he hit the
Yes, Euros last year.
Yeah.
He actually landed in the
Yeah.
basket and it popped out. That was not at like Euro Cup. It was at a European event last year.
No, I'm not thinking of that. I'm thinking of what hole was that? There's water on the right, and you have to carry. It's almost like a partial island, or like a peninsula, and you basically throw a hyzer. It's not that long of a hole. I feel like it was maybe. I don't think it's DDO.
I don't know.
I'm also kind of just throwing names out, but it was one of the ones where Paul basically after the fact said like, well, these things shouldn't be here because one person can hit and stick, and the next person can hit and roll away, and that's what he did. I think he rolled directly into the water or something like that.
He hit the koozie. He nailed
Yes.
the koozie.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was Jonesboro, the par 3. It's like 512.
Yeah.
He hit the koozie, rolled out of bounds, and actually, if he had like landed safely and tapped in, I think he would have beaten Calvin. That was when he went to a playoff.
Yep.
I guess that's last year. I don't know, but yeah,
I think
was
I would say though the most. What was it? Unfortunate.
yeah, most unfortunate. moment.
The decision that Eagle made to try and do a reverse 360 forehand whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, that's tough.
Like, watching that video, it doesn't even make sense what he was going for.
Yeah.
And it cost him his life.
His entire life.
It's cost him a lot.
Yeah.
His life.
My mind immediately goes to Aaron Gossage's drive on the playoff hole at Emporia that like wasn't in the water but was like clearly OB, like just right below the line. It was just so sad. It was so close. And the way it just like stuck on the island and just like right below the line was just so sad. That and we talked about it a bit before, but I can't remember what tournament it is, but Kevin, when he was leading a tournament and just went over the that basket on the mound, like hit cage, rolled out of bounds, it almost hit the comeback or like bounced off the nub to like 40 feet, missed that one. Like it was just horrible.
That is my number one as well, but I wanted to choose the Ezra one. But like that one is like really tough to watch because
How have we not brought up AB yet?
I was holding off for someone else to pick it up.
Is it a misfortune?
It is.
Yeah. Okay.
It's definitely
disregard
it's
that
definitely
one.
unfortunate.
What about AB?
Yeah.
What about AB
Hitting the camera guy?
the cameraman
Yeah.
and going out of bounds?
Yeah, that's tough. See, no, but I'm saying in my head that's more of a misfortune because AB threw a shot and someone was in the way. Or just like we said, Ezra threw a shot, it goes in the basket, it bounces out. Misfortune. AB missing the island 40 million times is like, as Scott just said, it's self-inflicted misfortune there.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's a misfortune that Paul was on his bag and didn't steer him to the right thing to do.
Yeah, that too. Okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
It
All right,
really
here's
did
my
take him
greatest
until he
misfortune.
ran out of Raptors to stop throwing
Yeah,
Raptors.
that is
Like,
unfortunate.
Like, I want to know what was said. Like, was Paul behind him just like
I would
kinda
love to hear the
snickering, like,
conversation. Yeah, like
do it
if he
again,
said
do it
anything.
hey, wait. This is the one. You should try this one.
Try harder.
Yeah, I am genuinely. I'm curious if like there was any conversation there, or if it was just like AB just going to the bag, grabbing another Raptor, and just ripping it. Like,
Yeah.
Unfortunate there. Greatest misfortune in my eyes, Will Schustrick injured.
yeah,
Because I watch him on stuff. Even now, I watch him throwing stuff, and I'm like, I can see the greatness that would have been if I had been watching disc golf actively in that time. You know, I could understand that, but
You want to know what's a misfortune is Ken Climo not being able to make any sort of financial significance in his life based off his dominance in the game.
facts.
Yeah.
I thought about that
Wrong
today.
place
And
at
I'm
the
like,
wrong time.
dude,
Yeah.
for
I
real, you
feel
gotta
like
feel so bad.
Schustrick was AB before AB. Like he was.
Yeah,
Just,
that's
I
what I'm
feel like they
saying,
have
bro.
like similar form too, with like the super deep reach back and stuff. I was a big Schustrick
yeah, they're just
fan as a
they're
Tennessee
lanky
guy.
guys.
But, yeah.
That's tough to
Prodigy's
see.
treating him well though. Apparently
Do you
he's
still
going to start to
consider
like play
yourself
more.
a Tennessee guy?
Yeah, I personally do, but I could see why people would not.
That you're a Bama boy now?
No, I hate that. No. Get out of here with that.
Why
I
do
mean,
you-
he's barely a
why do
Bama
you
boy.
hate-
He's almost like a panhandle boy.
Well, either way, you can't hate it because that's what MVP announced that Simon and Eagle are now.
I'm all
They're
kind of
just
boys.
Bama boys.
Bam boys.
NB peeps.
MVPs. Every single time that's said, Simon just rolls his eyes.
It's just like terrible.
He's like, oh, that's the worst.
Yeah, that's really
All
weird.
right, what's next up, Tyler?
Okay. Greatest upset of all time. So, two things. Either somebody won that was totally not viewed to win, or it could be somebody came back on somebody.
Ooh, I know. This just came into my mind. Nathan Queen winning the tour championship was so
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah. Actually, hold on.
He's got a Nathan Queen Thunderbird.
There it is.
I think the funniest part about Nathan Queen is when everyone was calling him Nate, and he
hates that.
religiously
like
corrected him.
correction.
It's Nathan. It's Nathan.
You want to know something really funny about that is that he came to our hometown and played a skins match at our bomber course here. And my brother reached out to him, who's also Nathan, and said, "Hey, could I caddy for you for that?" And he said, "Yeah, of course." And so I was like near them on the first hole, and my brother was like, when I met him on the first hole and says, "Yo, what's up, Nate? I'm Nate as well." And he was like, "I'm not Nate." And it was so awkward that very first moment. And my brother was like, "Oh, okay, no problem, Nathan, no problem."
Nathan Queen is up there for me on like people that I think it would be super fun to play around with. Like Nathan Queen just seems like a great time.
Yeah.
The man that putts with AVR X3s. Jeez,
Yeah, that's
how do you do
insane.
this?
Are those very overstable?
They're like
P3X.
Yeah. They're very.
They don't have glide?
No.
Not a lot at all.
Oh,
they're just-
okay.
yeah.
I think I mentioned this on one of our episodes, but like on hole 1 at Iron Hill, when he played on the feature card, he threw it the very first one and like couldn't even get it to like the cage. And I was like, well, you put with P3X as my guy.
RX3, yeah.
Baby RX3. Yeah. I think the biggest, man, it's so hard not to choose this one, but I'll throw it out there. But Parker Welk winning at DDO last year probably has got to be the biggest upset. The fact that he, like, can you imagine Calvin going in the next day, like thinking, "Oh, I got this in the bag," and then like you look over and Parker's nailing every single putt from every single distance, dude. And then like he did like the ninja kick through the trees after he made it through the tree.
Yeah, he was stunned. He was stunned about that. Bro had no right to go that far.
I will say, and this is no disrespect to Parker Welk. Parker Welk gives me hope, man. Like Parker Welk isn't like jacked, doesn't seem like super athletic or like lanky like Simon Eagle, and he's still like bombs. Like Parker Welk gives me hope that like I can throw 500 one day if I wasn't old.
Yeah,
bro. Okay, imagine he jumps through the tree, twists his ankle, DNF.
Dude,
just done.
Dude, that's like my thing. Is like I'm at the age where I can't be screwing around like that either.
Bro, I'm always at that age. I don't know. I'm on that default right there. After I played the tournament this weekend, I was so sore the next day I couldn't even go to sleep. It hurt so
Come
bad.
on, man. You're a young man.
I think it was just how wet it was outside and how soaked everything I was wearing was and how long I hiked. But
wait till you get in your late 20s, my guy.
Yeah, that's tough. Greatest upset. I didn't know about this one. I think that I have the greatest. I don't know. Scott said Sayonara 2023 Texas States, which. Yeah, reasonable. I don't know. I don't think I have a greatest upset. Nothing really hype, but that's a tough one.
I'm trying to think of like someone who came back on somebody too. Like we've seen it a couple times.
How about the entire season when Chase Card won?
That's true. Yeah,
How
I mean,
about that
definitely
clip
Simon and
of-
MVP.
Go ahead. Yeah. How about that clip of Brody Smith throwing? Everyone has seen it because they put it out everywhere. Brody Smith throwing the forehand like over the OB with clearly really like a raptor, or a captain's raptor, hitting.
It was a zone.
Was it a zone? That's even worse. Hitting, skipping, the wind pops it up, rolls back out of bounds.
That's a good misfortune one.
That is a good misfortune one. Bro literally did everything correct. He just followed the manual and just got an insane once in a lifetime.
That's a good one.
Wind skip, but
I forgot about that.
That's I don't know why I see that on social media once a week, bro. And that clip's like
I
years
feel like
old.
that does get sent around a lot.
Yeah, he looks very.
What about?
depressed.
Didn't Ella try throwing over the water on 18?
Yeah, my
Waco.
guy Jared brought that up.
I was gonna say Jared brought it up earlier. Ella Hansen
that
going
was
straight OB on 18 to Lucid Tattar.
yeah.
By the way,
Memorable
I
for that one
didn't
reason.
I didn't know about that disc because it wasn't available to us yet. But that S line DD3, and she throws it as far as she throws. Like I was on grip black debate night discussing that mental play. Now that I know, and I've thrown an S line DD3 with my strength, it was the dumbest play she could ever do because it is such a like. It's not flippy, but like if you catch it on the wrong angle, it's gonna be really difficult for it to come back in that moment. Like, I mean, she could have thrown anything else that was overstable, and she would have been just fine. Like, you have to think, you have to go left. You cannot go straight or right. You have to put something, and that's where the whole caddy. That's where I like went off on the caddies because I was like, someone's got to be in your ear saying, please, like you can misthrow this. It's fine, but make a better decision. Like, don't let that be the reason why you lose. So anyways, I'm still upset about that because people were arguing with me about it. And I'm like, dude, it was dumb. It is not smart.
You're still upset about that, which is why you're missing your putts. You have to not care.
It's the mental baggage, man.
You have to not care about anything.
It's like one of those things where you forget, and then when it gets brought up, it gets you fired up again.
And then you miss the putt again.
And then it's done.
Yeah.
Speaking of Waco, honorable mention for shots. I don't know how I forgot this, but Simon throwing a P2 off 18's tee and parking
I was going to say that. I was going to say
Disgusting.
that. Yeah. I saw that on Instagram a couple days ago, and I was like, man, that is just, I forgot about that. That is wild. Dude looks like a complete noodle too.
Yeah, I can remember there was an old video of like Simon and Eagle both doing like a push-up contest, and like neither of them could do more than like 7 or 8 push-ups. It's like ridiculous.
And they both weigh like $150.
All about the rubber band.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, that's true. And like Eagle says, he's been like in the gym and whatnot. Doing what?
Doing his little
cardio, brother. Nothing else.
Yeah,
straight cardio.
he's actually doing a weighted. What is that called? A Komodo, whatever it is.
I have no idea what that is.
He's doing a weighted version of that. It's a 5-pound weight.
Oh, the kendama.
Kendama, thank you.
He's got the weight around his wrist. And he's like,
Yeah. So I'm really working on my articulation of my wrist here. I just want to make sure I can get a full flex with my forehands.
Yeah. Well, I have others that we could like bring up and talk about, but Corey, you said you had something you want to talk about, and I'd love to hear what that is, and so I want to do that instead.
Oh no!
Don't blow this, Corey.
It's not blowing it. It's I forgot what I was gonna say.
I know that.
Oh my goodness!
Hold on, Scott. It's not kombucha. That's
the
a drink.
2022 putter of the year.
Hey,
Birdie Marvel.
Bro got closer than I did.
It could be the 2022 putter of the year, but it wasn't. It's hold on. We just talk amongst yourselves. Let me think of this.
No problem. I got this. You could also be thinking about like what was another thing I had about just like the greatest. Oh, the greatest. It was like I was thinking about this one, but it's harder to explain it. Greatest coulda. Like greatest like could have been, and it didn't pan out, or it didn't work out for their career. The reason why I was thinking about this question is because I immediately thought of Paul Ulibarri, because he never made it to world number 1 and he never won a major.
Hey, bro.
Still got time.
Lil bro has a lot of W's though, and I still believe in him. Don't pull greatest could have been.
I'm not hating on him. I'm just saying he like. There's so many times where he's thought about, or not thought about, where like something happened and it, he wasn't able to get the world number 1 or win a major.
Scott wants to know who has the better 2024 season, Eagle or Paul this year.
Paul.
I'm going to say Paul just because we know he's playing more right now, which could very much flip depending on who decides what to do.
You guys are talking about Ulibarri?
We were.
Yeah,
No. Oh, no. He's talking about like the Paul. Come on now.
Yeah, the Paul.
Paul Oman.
Paul's Macbeth's got mouths to feed at home now. You know.
It's true.
He's got to perform.
I don't know. I still think it might be Eagle.
I think Paul might be financially okay without playing well. Just to throw that out there too.
So yeah, that's true.
There's a pride thing when you become a dad, though.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I mean,
true.
he could go. He could tap into that.
Yeah, but Eagle is now a father of some brand new plastic.
It's a lot of.
And new anime magazines at home.
And also, he knows every single disc from the entire lineup already.
That's so wild, man.
Yeah.
You know,
He got
he's
the
been messing
motion
around
wrong.
with MVP for a while.
He got the
Yeah.
motion wrong. And
He
that's
said-
the one I throw.
He said he was throwing Simons at D-Glow, maybe. I don't remember where he said.
It's always
With
Eagle.
DGC.
Yeah, USDGC, yeah. Yeah, he was like,
Oh my gosh! We
I
have to
love
talk
this
about
question.
this. Yeah, Jesse, good one, dude. Dude, by the way, shout out Jesse. Jesse loves doing this. He's my best friend, and he'll call me up and be like, "Yo, rank these things, or what is this, or what is that?"
I
He
thought
has
we
the
were your
best
best
question.
friends.
Yeah, hold on.
Shoot, my bad. I didn't mean to do that to y'all. My bad, man. Shoot, you guys are my best lovers. How about that?
all right, so the question from Jesse is rank Yuli, Germ, Sexton, best to worst in their prime.
In their prime.
Yuli's hard because I feel like there's like no footage of him
I
in
was saying
his real
Yuli's
prime.
prime is like when Yuli's driving himself across the country on like to play 70 A tiers a year. Like,
Yeah, with like bars
Yeah.
being those guys.
yeah.
Dude, but Yuli's putting is the best it's ever been. Maybe this is his prime right now, bro.
I was gonna say Yuli. I feel like Yuli still got a chance to get Nim on his name.
Okay,
Here in the next couple of years.
Yuli's putting is the best it's ever been. It's really accurate in C1. He needs some help in C2. He did his video with Simon about it, and he did a video throwing with Ezra
Oh, so he
just
was
a while
throwing
ago. and
bombs
hitting
with Ezra
500
a little bit ago. Yeah.
He was throwing like 500 feet, no problem.
Sneaky 500.
Yeah, he was like, I don't know if I think I'll hit like 420, and then Ezra measured. He's like, yeah, you hit 500 right there. And he's like, oh, okay.
I
Yeah,
do.
I
I,
might have to
personally agree
agree
with
with-
Scott. Yeah, Sexton.
Yeah, me
Yuli,
too.
and Germ.
Me too. I was gonna say Sexton, Yuli, Germ. I really want to say Yuli over Sexton, but
Germ's USDGC is
Sexton-
fraudulent.
I believe cash streak alone is how we're opting that in, brother. Bro, I can get the long cash streak. I just got to aim for the tournaments with no one else playing.
Bro, Sexton's
That is
cash streak is
not-
insane.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's also like just good course manager.
Yeah.
You know, he knows what he's doing. Is Germ hopping any of those guys in any of your world?
No, I think Germ's
best
USDGC is fraudulent.
What, that he won?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder how
I mean,
many
nothing
people.
against him. It's just, I mean, I feel like a lot could have happened on that last day for somebody that had never won a big tournament before at USDGC.
100%. I wonder if there was people in his ear after that, or if he was just too well liked of a person in the community, where people were like,
I think he heard
Hey,
a lot
remember that-
about it, but I mean,
"Did he?"
it sucks, but like, I mean, there's nothing you can do.
It's just, I don't know, man. I don't know if I could go around. I don't know if I've heard him go around and be like, "Oh yeah, USDG champion enough."
Yeah,
But
I
that's
feel like
not-
he
like, I
doesn't
don't-
flex it at all.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Do you
But-
guys think Ricky ever wins USDGC?
Oh my gosh, dude, that's a big one.
Ever?
I feel like he
Here,
cares
I'll-
too much about it now.
Listen, let me tell you something real quick, okay? Maybe I've said this enough, but I'm going to say it again. That tournament alone proves that Ricky's not a good course manager. He's never won it, and it feels like he hasn't been close ever. And until he actually learns how to play golf, I feel like he'll never win that tournament. That's just my thing.
So
It
he
just
has
makes
to
me-
learn an entirely different sport.
Listen,
Pretty much.
I kind of rock with how Tyler says when he says golf specifically, you know it's course management. I kind of
Right.
like that. when Tyler says, man, he's got to figure out golf, he's talking about sports management and what's going on in your head there.
I do. I mean, I feel like there's a strong connection between like those courses like USDGC, Ledgestone, and like the guys like Nate Sexton, Chris Dickerson come to mind of people that like just really know how to minimize mistakes and like maximize what they can get from playing within themselves. So I feel like it is almost a slightly different game than a lot of other courses that they may not have.
It's almost like Chris Dickerson is going to win Worlds this year. So
facts.
Heard that one.
With his new signature Squatch Legend bag.
Breaking news: he's signing with Squatch. No, I'm kidding. We don't know that. But Scott said personality goes Germ, Yuli, then Sexton, and I say false.
What goes then for you? What swaps?
I like same order. I think it's Sexton, Yuli, and Germ. I'm not a Germ fan.
That's crazy. I feel like I can't, bro. You're asking the guys that their personalities are maybe the most well-known parts of their disc golf experience now to rate. I like them all.
I would say I don't dislike any of them. I have friends that really dislike Nate Sexton, and I don't understand how.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Really?
Plus, you got to think like you can't. It's almost if you had them separately, they're not as good because they bounce off of each other.
Yeah.
So I don't know. If it was like singles, like if you had to watch like a vlog from each of them, I don't know if it would be as good as if it was just all of them together.
Yeah,
I will say Yuli kind of gives off vibes sometimes that he's like too good for people. I could be a really bad.
He also gives vibes about how he doesn't know how to use a camera. So
that's also cool.
By the way, pet peeve of Corey's is people who don't know how to use a camera.
It's not even that you don't know how to use it. Like, even have you watched any of his recent vlogs where he goes to zoom in and it's just a square of zooming in the middle of
so bad. Yes.
Like stop doing that.
It makes me so mad.
Paul, I will edit your videos for you. Just stop doing that.
He has an editor though. That's what I don't get. He has
clearly he doesn't.
Who's his editor, man?
I don't remember, but he does have an editor. I know that's true, or at least he used to at one point. But yeah, that little like crop zoom where like the entire screen's black except for this little, it makes me so mad.
I don't get it. Okay, I remember my my topic.
All right, go for it, Corey.
That's it.
So I've been thinking about this, and I'm probably going to make a video about it soon. But if you had to describe one plastic type from each major brand that they would be like known for, what would they be? So
right, let's go through all the companies, all the big ones.
All right.
Innova.
I feel like they are like, I want to say Halo, but I also want to say just like Star. Like they're known for like their that plastic.
It's funny you say that because I would say like if we're gonna go like the whole Star route, I would say Champion.
Why?
My brain went to Champion
because all the pros,
like CE and Champ stuff. Yeah.
Because the pros would all throw the Champion plastic, and
yeah,
so
but I'm saying like okay. How big of a comparison is Champ to Z to all other?
I know it's similar to others, and so it can get washy. But like back, if you were talking about for the last decade or 15 years, like if you would ask, I think it would be actually. You know what? Now I'm starting to think. I still think Champion, but now that I'm talking more, KC Pro Plastic.
Okay.
Their most known plastic?
No, like if
most
someone was like, hey,
I guess.
What? Yeah. Like what plastic would be this company would be known for if you had to only pick one?
I almost want to say G-Star because I feel like not a lot of other companies have like a good like super gummy style star.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing. It's just straight most well known. You might have to say Star just because they're the first. But as a unique plastic, G-Star definitely feels like maybe it takes it there.
Yeah.
Yeah, if someone says Innova, I immediately go to Star Plastic though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But all right, so what about Discraft?
So
I think the Z Jawbreaker.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's no one else has done it yet, and I don't know if anybody can, or like they don't know how.
yeah. Listen, Scott says it's Champion, and he says every translucent plastic gets compared to Champion. He says this for Innova,
Right.
which I do agree with. But if you go into Dick's Sporting Goods, it's all going to be Star Plat. Like there's going to be some Champ, but
Well, I also
Star's the
think
one-
too. I think too, like to Corey's point, if you get a translucent plastic from every manufacturer, like the difference between those to me is pretty minimal at this point. Where like, I think in my mind, G-Star is like very uniquely like Innova, or like I know Discraft has some Flex stuff that's pretty similar, but like G-Star is like pretty distinguishable in my mind to Innova.
Well, to me, like I've thrown like the ESP Flex and I think Big Z Flex and stuff like that, and that feels more like regular Star than G Star.
Hmm.
Like there's nothing that Discraft has that is gummy enough for me to be like, oh yeah, this compares to G Star. So I think maybe G Star would be, and then the Z Jawbreaker. It's so
I
cool.
agree with that.
Yeah.
That's a pretty easy one. All right.
Yeah.
What about
I think the easiest one would be MVP because gyro. Like
all of them.
like just gyro.
Yeah, I would agree with that. What about Discmania?
I mean, go ahead, Corey.
I think they're I don't know what it's called, but the like chameleon kind of like I don't know what it's
Chameleon?
called.
Is he talking about like meta plastic?
Is it meta or is it? It could be. It's like it changes color almost off of like
it's chrome meta.
Yeah,
Like the Iron Samurai, the new ones that come out.
I think the chroma plastic because they do it so well.
Yeah, I wonder. I don't know. I would have said the Horizon before everyone started going that style though.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's doing that, bro. I got tournament stamp stuff this weekend. I wish I had it on me from Dynamic. There was like a Horizon style, but it looked like the pattern Clash had done with like the double steadies, like it was that style. It was it was like very well done. I was like, what in the world,
bro? Can we talk about how and why Halo discs are like $25 now? Because inflation. Oh, yeah,
Or how about the fact that I think MVP started booming, so everyone was like, how do we make it look like we have gyro without actually having gyro?
That's true. Yeah.
It's the mental trick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Chroma. I think that's a good point, Corey. I don't know, because it feels like Discmania just copied everyone. So they did do the
Italian.
The Strat. They had like their Stratus. Uh-oh.
What?
Taylor was bugging. I didn't see it. For me, he was bugging.
Oh, you're good. You're back though.
They did have the Stratosphere Horizon. I don't know if that was any different, but anyways.
I don't know what that was.
They called it like it was the DD1 and it said Stratosphere Horizon. But what about Latitude 64? Boring.
That's tough. Wait.
I
would
lump
say,
all of Trilogy together, and I think for me it's whatever they call Biofusion. Like back when I threw a decent amount of Trilogy, like Biofusion was clutch.
When I think of Latitude 64, I think of their Grand Royal Grand plastic.
Yeah, that's probably better.
Yeah, no, that's definitely valid. I think if you he's clearly digging around for something.
Corey's just rummaging in the background.
I honestly, I love a little gold. I love a little gold line plastic.
I was going to say that too. They're known for that gold.
Yeah. The gold line, in my opinion, is just like a slightly softer, better star. Like,
Interesting.
that's what I'm finding out. I don't know. I guess everyone's going to find this out as they find it out. It's just over time, I'm realizing like a lot of companies have a little better plastic than every Innova plastic. Like one company has a better Champ style plastic. One company has a better pure or star style plastic. Scott says Opto Ice Orbit Space Monkey Jetpack.
Yeah,
There it is.
Opto Ice Orbit is interesting because the inside looks insane. I have a river in that plastic, and it's like it's like there's distinct lines running from the center of the disc out, and then it just made the river I have just really domey and way more stable. Like I can put a little flex on that river, but
Corey, what you got?
so you have one here for us.
I want to make sure this is latitude. Yeah, latitude 64. Opto Hex.
Oh,
got,
the
like,
missile and was the Rakuten.
Yeah, so it's got like very small, almost golf dimples all over it.
Interesting.
I don't know if you'd be able to see that. No. So the only spot that actually feels slick are these two little parts right here for your thumb.
That's weird.
So it looks like it fits perfectly. And then the rest of it has what I'm assuming is supposed to be like how a golf ball dimple does, like creates less drag. But it's the weirdest disc ever. And I'm pretty sure it's like a 15 or a 16 speed or something like that.
That's something crazy.
Yeah.
That is wild.
I used to putt with the old Latitude 64 spikes that had the little grips on the. It was basically the opposite of that.
Yeah, I know
that.
Yeah. My buddy still putts with that. Aaron.
Shout out, Aaron.
Good.
Is he a good putter? Would you describe him as a good putter?
Oh wow, putting him to the test right now.
This is it.
So when I first started,
This means he's not a good putter.
When this starts with a story, it's never good.
Yeah, it's like
Politically
in the
answer.
DG.
No. Shut up. Just listen to my story. Okay, so when I first started, I got into the game because of Jeremy and Aaron. They were two guys that ran a skate shop that I was sponsored by when I was like 15. And they were like, all right, Sunday we're going to go out. You got to try this with me. And I'm like, okay, cool. So they gave me a handful of discs. Since then, that was like 2008, 2009, somewhere around there that I started. We really have not like been competitive. Like we keep score in the sense of like, oh, I didn't get a par, but like no one cares. Aaron is a really good putter, but we also don't care. So a lot of times he's not actually like setting up to putt. Right. He's just like, we're talking, we're like, he'll have a beer in his hand and be like, "Shah," and just like throw it, like, because we don't care. So like, but yes, I've seen him putt really well. So in your face, the story mattered.
Long story short.
All right.
Yeah,
all right.
He was saucing you up.
Okay, we hit Innova, Discraft, Discmania, Latitude, and by extension, all of Trilogy.
I'm going to say, wait. I'm going to say Dynamic Dish. I'm just going to do this really quick. I'm going to give it to him. The Supreme Plastic. It's all the same as Royal Grand, but just going to stick that to their name. So, I don't know. What's another big company that we missed? We could say Prodigy.
Yeah. Flashing.
Period. Oh, that stuff. I feel like they were. I want to say 750G.
I don't know Prodigy that well.
400G is my favorite plastic from them. I feel like it's just. I think 400G is just nothing compares to it, except the new 500 plastic is really good from China. What's another company that we haven't hit?
Clash Tone Technology, revolutionary.
Dude, I got a chance to throw one.
Oh, really?
It's legit. Yeah, I can't say who and I can't say why. I threw it a couple weeks ago. It's really good.
What did you throw?
I want to try it.
The Clash Stone, the Clash Stone plastic, but it was Assault, which is a distance driver.
See, can you see through to the other plastic?
Yeah.
Is there
What do you
anything?
mean, what do you mean to the other plastic? I mean, you can see through it. Yeah.
Like Corey,
Isn't it like Champ and then like not Champ?
yeah, but it's like Champ on top, and then the bottom rim.
It's literally just the
is
bottom
not
mold.
Champ.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
So-
Yeah.
the-
So
It's
so
not
what's
the-
holding it together?
The
It's like-
top,
Friendship.
the top feels like
it's like gyro. hitting other-
Friendship.
yeah, the bottom feels really stiff, and the top
No,
feels
I-
really soft.
I get that, but how is it being held together?
Glue. Elmer's
No.
glue.
Believe.
There's no
Elmer's
way.
glue.
Super glue.
I'm like, have you ever seen a gyro disc like taken apart?
Mhm.
Like there's little like ridges that hold the gyro like so it doesn't spin and move and everything and pop off. So
Yeah.
there's got to be something that they like did.
So when a top mold really likes a bottom mold and they get together.
Scott just says it's just science, and you need to accept that, Corey.
I'm not going to accept that answer. I'm an engineer. Like there's no way.
I don't even know what that word-
allowing that to happen.
Yeah,
What does that word mean?
I don't even know, bro.
Emulsification, man.
What?
Yeah, what does that mean? I don't know that word. That's too big for my pay grade.
What, engineer?
No, emulsification. WB Cam just said emulsification on the live here.
Shout out my guy Eric.
Yeah, it's we're that's it. Then. Yeah, I guess tone technology. I think we've hit pretty much everyone. There's smaller brands, but I think we've hit most of the bigger ones. Unless Taylor's got a crazy. Taylor, what's your crazy underground brand that has an amazing plastic? In your opinion,
Clearly, it's Infinite with their
Infinite discs.
Hold on, it's their
Elblend.
no.
Halo.
I know he wants to say Concrete, but
Oh, concrete is good.
yeah, I don't know.
I'm curious what Corey's searching for. I'm just gonna let him keep going because I don't know.
Don't
what
they have
my
like a
answer is.
swirly halo blend?
Is it N blend? I
Oh,
blend?
end blend is clutch, but it's
What's
it's just
love
Nexus.
that?
Okay. I don't know what that means.
It's like a grippier D blend. It's like between DX and XT.
It sounds like you're talking about Disney channels, so I don't know. I don't know.
That's funny.
The hilarious thing is I don't know what any of the comparisons to Discraft are, so I genuinely can't help them. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what plastic
Okay,
he's talking about right now.
Well, who?
Yeah.
Okay, is Nexus an Inva plastic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, let's do this. Let me do an outro, and then we'll continue the conversation. So, first off, we just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. Stick around for the after party. We're gonna keep chatting and keep talking some plastic. But if you're watching the episode, thanks so much for watching. Let us know in the comments where you're some of your greatest moments in disc golf that we might have missed. Like and subscribe, which we didn't get a chance to say the entire episode,
Tough one.
but we just said it there. So, Corey, what did you want to say?
I was gonna say, Scott just said Trash Panda Ice. Is it weird that they use the word ice and DGA already has ice plastic?
Yeah, that is weird. Yeah.
All right, till next time.
Yeah. So, all right. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys can go to foundationdisc.com to get all your disc golf needs. And we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for hanging out. See you later.
Bye, guys.
Peace.
Bye.
Peace.